Hey y'all, I'm back. Alright, so I don't know if y'all seen the buzz around the YouTube or Instagram, but there has been an interview with Tasha K and Ariana Curry. Let's get into it. Hopefully this won't be long because I'm just trying to get to the cliff notes of what I want to talk about. So, um, starting of the show, Ariana Curry is in the building and she feels like her likeness of her being on the show has been a false narrative and she's not getting the chance to speak. Basically, they portrayed her to be this young, crazy woman that was chasing around someone else's husband. At the end of the day, whether or not someone chased you, you still engaged in the affair with a married man. So I don't know what you want from that. She talks about the relationship between Martell and Ariane. How did you guys meet? Y'all pretty much been together for 7 years. Where did it start? Knowing that he was married to Melody Hope for 15 years, had 4 children. The first official meeting was at Martell's cousin's house. She was invited by her best friend. She came from Ohio. She just moved to Huntsville. She went to college in Huntsville, but doesn't really know anybody there. So, am I going too fast? Oh, wait, I'm going too fast. Sorry. Before I get to that, this is the first official interview that they've had. The unofficial interview was a phone conversation that she knows should be recorded, and she wished she would have known. Otherwise, she wouldn't have spoken so much. Either way, you spilled it. Moved on. And how that interview got over 100 million views. So she feels like there's so much to talk about. And nobody knows you're here except for my team. Basically, you know what I'm saying, you go through the same song and dance of being a mistress, knowing that a man has a wife with 4 kids. The old tale of a woman who wants to stay, move forward, have her family. She stays till she can't stay no more. It's overkill. Let's figure out what's going on. Ariane believes she's milking it at this point. Fine. And based off of what you guys look at the comments, you guys look so much good together. You think she's profiting it off the relationship? If she did, that's fine. Mel has definitely used money, used power in her pain, as she should. Basically. So, like I said, they met when she was 24. She went to a party or a barbecue with her best friend who was invited by Martell's cousin. And she didn't know anybody there. Her cousin, Martell's cousin, introduced her, and she didn't know who he was. She did find him attractive. She keeps on saying she didn't pursue him. She noticed him. She found him attractive, like I said. And Tasha K called him a teenage mutant ninja turtle. I died. So apparently what happened, you gave him your number, he gave you yours. What happened? So the cousin pretty much played middleman. And within 5 minutes later, he goes out to his car. He calls her and says, let's have a conversation outside. So, of course, she didn't know he was married, but her best friend didn't know he was married, but yet she went to high school with his cousin or anybody else in the family, but at the party. I don't believe her when she said she didn't know he was married or didn't know that her best friend knew, or the cousin. The cousin obviously knew at the time, right? Come on. It's a ring on his finger. So y'all still had a conversation. The attraction was there. He said he described Ariane as young, spicy, and smart. Okay. Young, yes, but spicy, no. Smart, where? Got it. So, I don't know why Tasha K made this comparison. She said she's like the chocolate version of Melody. No, she's not. She's like a squirrel because she has a mouth that can hold nuts and dick. No, ma'am, not going to do that. So, she said that's the biggest misconception, is that people thought she was wild and carefree. She's conservative. Out of all her friends, she's the conservative one. If you're so conservative, then where was your moral compass for you to engage in a married man and went through all of this? That don't sound conservative to me. That sounds like a girl who was willing to be a part of any form of a relationship if she can get something out of the deal. That's what it felt like to me. Again, at the same time, how can someone understand who says he's not, because who's not spicy? Yeah, but you did something. You did something to keep a man around for 7 years and had a child, and a man who you knew was married and had 4 children. Come on, you did something. unless that mouth was amazing and that, come on. Come on. She said, I don't know what it was, but I think it was him and I's personal connection. And she said she's always been a likable person. That's what attracted to her to Martell. She wants to know how long they were friends before they became intimate. They were friends for 9 months. 9 months after the official meeting, from the car, they had conversations. She said from jump, Martell thought that she was gonna go to a hotel with him. First meeting. And she said, I'm 31 years old. Until this day, I can still count on one hand how many men I've had sex with. So, of course, Tasha K is stumbled upon this first meeting. You mean tell me first meeting he wanted you to go to a hotel with him? Did it ever occur to you that this is something he's done before? Because if he's so willing to go to a complete stranger that he doesn't know, never met, and said, oh, what's up? You want to fuck? Come on. However he wanted to say it, that didn't cross red flag. No red flag was coming out of nowhere. Okay. She said, I believe that most men has cheated. And I say all men, most men. And right, so okay, so the fact that this is happening, you don't think that the woman could have felt it differently? Because you're not married, but do you know what it feels like to have your husband cheat on you with a random woman? Because you're the mistress, but I can see from your perspective that you would not have find anything weird in about this. But if you were a wife and you hear that your husband is going around sleeping with random women, that would make you feel some type of way. And yeah, your perspective might be different because you're young and dumb. You don't know what it's like to be married. Know that your husband's out here fool a line with any woman he sees fit. And you're not going to think that that's not weird. That's not concerning. Yeah, you might have been different if you were married, but, you don't know how to be a wife yet. But once you will, I'm pretty sure you understand both sides of the coins. And you'll know more, then, of course, you won't be. Because, of course, the situation at hand, this man was 10 years your senior. And you don't think he took advantage of the situation? He manipulated you? She said she was agreeing to a lot of things. She was very agreeable because, first off, she came out from a 5-year relationship with her daughter's father. She was with him for 5 years in college. So that was pretty much the first man she's ever been with, the first serious relationship. So after she left that, she was in a vulnerable state, probably didn't even know she was going to meet somebody. So when she met Martell, she was definitely persuadable, agreeance, going ahead and going along with everything without questioning it. So after 9 months of y'all just being friends, y'all became intimate after that. How long did you find out that he was married? She said she found out in the 9 months of them being just friends. And while knowing that he was married, what kept her was the conversations. Fine. Because they've had great conversations, and it led to the phone conversation. Am I right there? Basically, yeah. So, so after that, she found out the conversation they had. They kept going. I guess great. You sure it was great conversations? It had more than great conversations that kept you cool. So then she says that Melody sent her a copy text message of Melody telling Martell that he's obsessed with her. And how you keep calling her back to back. She found out about Ariana after their first interactions. With having sex, she wanted clarity because the 9 months she wants to understand you've been betrayed. You have not given your voice. You've been not telling your story. But yet you've been on live. You've been going on live, not leaving much details, not saying much details, going around in circles. And, but you didn't give a lot of details. But did you ever stop to think this man is over 30? He's 35 years old. He's married. He has 4 children. You're 24. Did you think everything that you're doing was wrong and that you should stop before it got too hard? Not too hard, but too crazy, too involved? Like, did you think this was crazy to do? She said, Martell never make you. Oh yeah, did Martell ever make you believe that he was going to leave his wife? Did he ever make promises to you? She said no. He never told me anything. I never pressured him, but he said he always felt guilty for putting his wife in that situation. So apparently, when it came down to the situation, Ariana thought that she should stop. She should try to not be a part of this. You need to go back to your wife. But apparently, finding that he was not going to leave his wife and he was not going to leave Ariana alone, she stayed. She stayed. She never put pressure with him because obviously since he was never going to stop calling her but never want to stop fucking with Mel, she felt like might as well get what I can get, right? Might as well be honest. Since you thought you put a break and a pause to this man was crying, begging you to stay, and what did you do? You stayed. Knowing that he was married, knowing that he was still not leaving his wife, you felt like I should get the end of this. I should take what I get, take what I can, you know? So when you did find out he was married, how did you guys go through the situation? What happened? She heard things in the streets. She asked him a question. He answered it honestly. There was no details. And knowing that he was married, wouldn't you think twice? Oh, yeah, she said at 20-year-old Ariane wouldn't have cared. 31-year-old Ariane would have thought twice to not put herself in that situation. Fine. Because she says there's a fine line for us as black women. We're not supposed to go after one another. Even though she wasn't married, there needs to be a form of level of respect. Girl, bye. There was no level of respect when you thought that you did not think that any given time what you did was wrong, carrying on a situation with a married man. Girl, miss me. Miss me. I don't give a damn. Miss me. Because of that, she did not invite herself to break up a family home, but she knows the respect that she has for another woman. In the situation now, 10 years ago, she wouldn't have thought twice. I wouldn't have put myself in that situation based off of what she went through. Fine, Ariane, I don't believe you, because the fact that you said you did not invite yourself to break up a family home, you did. You did. Because she keeps on saying that out of all this, Martell was the one that was constantly pursuing her. I don't care. This man was married. You knew that. After finding out, you still you still invited the information. You still invited what he told you. You still took what he told you, and you made it work. You profited all the way down until you got a baby out of the situation. So now you are stuck. Purposely stuck. She said, Martell was fun. He was very good. And knowing that there was a pull and tug with him, not wanting to leave his wife alone, not leaving you alone. Did you ever think to this point to stop? Stop. Did you ever stop talking to him? Did you ever stop fucking with him? Did you ever think that this is going too far? We need to stop. She said they've gone 5 months without talking, 3 months without talking. She was head over heels in love, even though she did not want to admit it. She agreed that she did not have many relationships. Like she said, she met her first boyfriend at 17 when she went to college, her child's father. They've been together for 5 years. After college, she met Martell because she met her first boyfriend in college at a freshman mixer, and she was with him the entire time after finishing college. So Tasha K wants more clarity of, because you're being a mother, knowing what you did you expect for things to go? What did I write? Yeah, she wasn't trying to hurt Mel, but Martell will complain about a lot of things. And of course, talking about the misconception of the timeline in 2015. Like how Martell was complaining how Mel wasn't doing the sexual things that he wanted her to do. So he went and told Ariane and complained about what she's not doing. Classic case of what a male would do when he doesn't get what he wants from his wife. So he complains and puts her in a bad light and tells the new woman, take her position and give me what I want, but yet I will not marry you. Yet I will call you a peasant. I will not go public with you because I just want this part of what I want satisfied, because she doesn't want to do it. And since I am such a coward for not telling her what I want, she's not doing it what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and cry on your shoulders and get in between your legs. That's what I'm going to do. So then the story of how she found out, right? The conversation, the argument that Mel was having with Martell when she called. This girl was irritating the fuck out of me because she kept on going back to semantics about how she didn't do this, it was like this, but yet it was still equated to what happened. She talked about when was you discovered? 2015, 2017. It was 2015 when the show got picked up and they were airing. So it was portrayed that she was calling, and she said, put Martell on the fucking phone. She said she didn't say that, right? So she said that Martell called her 10 minutes earlier. She was on a date. He was blowing her phone up. She called back more than once. Mel picked up the phone, and that's when she said, put Martell on the phone. I don't care what you didn't say, Ariane. You still had enough cojones in your mistress ways of demanding to see another woman's husband. You still demanded that Martell pick up the phone. But then Mel said he did not pick up that phone because he knew who was calling. So she is so irritated by how that was being portrayed in my likeness, and I never called her because I was already irritated and I'm like, I don't give a damn, because at the end of the day, you were a mistress calling for attention, calling the husband, and he wasn't calling you. Goodbye. Because yeah, you're not being disrespectful. You're goodbye. I'm not doing this with her. Oh, right. Okay. So, did you ever thought about doing this? She never thought it would be a problem. Wait, where am I at? Oh, right. Did you ever think at one point, now that you were the mistress, you kind of hold some kind of cards? Did you ever call Mel to fuck shit up? Ever say, I got your man. He's mine now. You want him? He's right here. She said, no, I never thought to do that because they tried to portray me as the person that I'm not. She told Martell, why are you saying this? Because all the interviews and all of the show portrayed her in this light. And she did not want to admit that she did call her. And all the 7 years she's been with him, she only slept with all the years she's been with him, she only slept with one man, and that was Martell. Oh yeah, she also accused Mel of keying her friend's car, that she thought it was from a guy she knew in college, and she called Mel and said, did you key my friend's car? She said, I don't know what you're talking about. So while you are not trying to admit that you did call to bug Martell, you decided to call Mel and blame her, accuse her of keying your friend's car. Mel would not have had no time and care to do that. She don't want to know and care for what you're doing, Ariana. Goodbye and good night. Yeah, because basically at the same point in time, Ariane wants to blame Mel for coming at her, because Ariane keeps on saying everybody's been talking about her online, on the show. She's been used as a storyline. Everybody keep on bringing her up. Girl, nobody is thinking about you in that depth, okay? While the infidelity came about, that led to us talking about you, right. But at the same point in time, girl, nobody's on your mind 24/7. Ariana, you're not on anybody's mind 24/7, girl. You want that to happen. Hence why you've been feeding little nuggets for people to come to your YouTube page, on your online boutique. Girl, goodbye. So, Tasha K asked, did she ever try to pressure him to leave his wife based off of what you guys had been talking about? She said no. But he will complain about his wife and how he's unhappy. But at some point, I never thought to say leave her. But I did say, if you're unhappy, then do what to do. Leave. But not to be with me. But if he's so unhappy, he was just trying to get sympathy and pussy out of you. That's all he wanted to do. And you gave it to him. You know what I'm saying? He was never going to leave. Never. She understood because he was gonna have children. She kept that going, and then she kept saying she's raising 2-parent households. The girl don't know the difference between 2-parent households because she kept doing this. I said, "What the hell is this? What is this? It's not 2-parent household. What is this? This puppet master? What the hell is this? Are you a puppeteer? You got marionettes under you? What the hell is that?" So, basically, you know what I'm saying? You got what you want out of it. Just admit it. You know what I'm saying? The entire time, did you love him, or was he a convenience for you? Because this man was not only married, he was established. He provided a lifestyle for you. You were a young single mother. So I'm pretty sure he was splurging. I'm pretty sure he was buying you cars, clothes, jewelry, paying for your rent, your apartment. Come on now. So she said it was convenience. The gifts were given, but that's not why I stayed with him. Girl, bye. Yes, it was. She said Martell helped her out a lot. Helped her out how? Come on, be honest. Helped you out with what? Paying your rent, buying your car, putting you up in a nice high-rise apartment. Come on, say what he did. What did he do to you? Because you keep on saying, he did a lot for me. He did a lot for me. So you don't think staying with him wasn't because of the connection? You thought staying with him because of the benefits that you received. Come on, be honest. Be honest. That's all you had to do. And then, of course, you went all through that knowing that, he had children and you had a baby by him. But come on now. She said the baby kind of happened, but the baby kind of didn't happen. So we're talking about, now we're going through how many times she's been pregnant. She's been pregnant 3 times. The first time she miscarried. The second time he paid for an abortion. He did not force her. It was her decision. The third time she kept it. And with knowing her position, you were basically the mistress. You wasn't a side piece. You wasn't a side bitch. You was the mistress. You played your part. You knew what you were there for, and that's all you needed to do. You were taken care of. You had things handled where you did not ask for more, no needed for less. You wasn't creating no issues, no problems. That's it. You played your part. Right. So if you're not gonna leave me alone, then please let me go. But then at the same point in time, while you're telling him to let you go, you can also remove yourself. Why you need permission for him to let you go? You didn't want to because you enjoyed the comfortable lifestyle that he was giving you, and you did not want to rock the boat. That's why. She said it was more complicated than that because Martell has a very persuasive way of getting you to stay. We can tell because it didn't take much for you to stop fucking him. It didn't take you much for him to accept the presents. It didn't take you much for him to accept the money for the abortion. But then, of course, you accepted the baby. It didn't take much. It didn't take much at all. Because one time, he wanted to come over to her apartment. He did not want to come in. He wanted to have a conversation. He gets down on his knees, begging and pleading, puppy dog eyes. She melts, because at that point, she was in love, head over heels. And she invites him in and gives him the cat. Basically. So, basically, he was practically baiting you into fulfilling his need. Because, obviously, he didn't get what he wanted from Mel. He went to the next best thing that wasn't going to tell him no. And you weren't going to tell him no. And that's what you did. So, it's always easy in the relationships where you're not getting the whole person. You're getting half that because he's still being one way with his wife and he's being one way with you, but you're not getting all of him at one time. You're getting half of him. So how can you say you're developing something with someone when you don't know them fully? Excuse me. Because basically, you pretty much let him do what he wants to do when he comes around. That's where it's at. You don't question. You don't ask him where he's been. You don't say, come home, come where you at, I miss you. You don't do none of that. You just wait for him to come over and that's where it be. So, yeah, because he pretty much gave Melody his ass to kiss while he's courting with you. But I feel like, do you think you got the best of Martell or the worst parts? But she keep on saying he's a good person, but obviously you're not with him. Why aren't you with him? She said her and Martell are damaged. And that's why they're not together. He needs counseling, and also the way that she was portrayed on TV. She cannot separate the reality from it all. Based off of how they talk every day, then what's on Saturday, every Saturday night. That's how she's feeling right now. So what she's trying to tell him is that he would say something, not argue with her about it. So she would give him the blues about how dare you let them talk to me about this? Why haven't you defended me? Why haven't you done this? And he didn't want to hear it. So when did you find out that she was going to say, oh, right. So apparently she never knew anything about it, but until the show, because she heard the show was going to be about real estate, right? But then it came out to be a reality show about 3 couples and their successful businesses and their marriages. And when they got picked up, they were supposed to be divorcing, but yet the producers and Melon and them got together and said, let's go ahead and tell them about the issues, about the business. Not the business, the infidelity and us getting back together. Because apparently from what Martell probably told Ariane that they were going to divorce. But no. She feels like they faked them getting together as far as like them getting over the resolvement and just filming the show. So because they weren't going to talk about the infidelity because Martell did not want to talk about it. He did not. Because obviously around that time, she's in nursing school. She's trying to get all her classes done. She only had one day off, which was Sunday. She's working 12-hour shifts. So it was a very hard trying time for her. But she felt like, she said she had no idea what was going on TV. Because she was so busy that she did not watch not one episode. I do not believe her when she said she does not know what goes on every Saturday. If your off day is Sunday, you could easily go on demand and watch the episode. Not just from the clips she says on Instagram. Girl, you watch them seasons. You watch season 1, season 2, and season 3. Hence why every time you bring it up, you bring them 3-part special. They're talking about me. Their storyline is about me. Because you're watching the show. But at the same point in time, not everything is about you. You were only mentioned a few times. That is it. Other than that, everybody got their own shit to go to talk about. Granted, this last season, Martell and Mel definitely took over the season because everybody wanted to know what was going on with them. While hiding what Marceau, Maurice, Kimmy, and Tisha were bringing to the table, and Destiny. Let's not forget that. So she sometimes wished she wasn't silent when it came down to the show airing. She wishes she'd spoken up sooner and not say something. It's been over 3 years. I'm tired of everybody spinning my name, giving this false air narrative, my likeness. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm done with her saying this likeness. What likeness? Nobody was using your face. Nobody was using your name. It was based off of what was being done and said. Bitch, you was a fucking mistress sleeping with a married man and had a baby by him. How else do you want to spin it? I don't care. You can't. And then, like, her friends are hearing it. They say, y'all not talking about Aaron Curry from dating, is y'all? Girl, bye. But apparently, she's still trying to not admit the situation because to a certain extent, that he did have an affair. But at the end of the day, he was the one pursuing me. It don't fucking matter. You were still inviting this man. You stayed available for him for over 7 years. This is the only man you had sex with. You did not think to have anything else on the side. So now you said you've been in 2-parent households, right? Because you keep going like this. She said, "Oh, because everybody viewed you as a homewrecker, right?" No, because I'm not. I know I'm not a homewrecker. My parents were definitely upset because being a 2-parent household and being in the public eye, I was embarrassed. They were mad because there's 2 versions of me. There's a version that they're shown on TV, and then there's versions of me in real life, and they are conflicting the two because that's not who I am. So they said you think they called you. Do you deserve better? Are your parents married? 2-parent household? No, they're not married. My mama's not married because you keep saying 2-parent households. Oh, I'm sorry. I was with my mom here and my dad lived over here. The bitch is dumb. You know what 2-parent household is? I was happy that Tasha K caught it because she kept doing this. 2-parent household. What the fuck does that mean? So you did not grow up with 2-parent household because she kept on saying how Martell knew the situation because Martell didn't grow up in a 2-parent household, nor did Melody. So the fact that we had a married couple and a man was cheating on his wife, you would think that he would try to keep the family together, but he didn't do that. So you didn't have examples. She said her examples were her grandparents and elders who had been married for a long, long time. So her first, so kind of not really, no relationships whatsoever with that. She says she has more respect for marriages now based off of what she's learned. And correct me, you're describing a situation that he was way older, he's established, you're a single parent, you put himself through school, even though you found out he was married, it wasn't that big of a deal because everything was already set in motion. You're receiving lavish things, lavish gifts. He made it very comfortable for you. Not to say that some women are not going to say you sold your body, but you pretty much got the benefits of the situation. You just need to be honest and keep it a buck. So she's saying, I mean, men have talked about, oh, did you ever think he'll be your husband? So basically, any given point in time, she said, oh yeah, so basically, while being the mistress, there's some point in time where you're going to want more out of the deal, right? You're going to want more of a title, more of recognition. Did you ever thought to ask more? Did you ever assume that? She said no, because it's the age-old question. Are you going to leave your wife? Lots of women who just stayed a mistress kind of want more out of that role. They want me taken seriously. They want more of a title, but at the same point in time, he called you a peasant. So from being a mistress, a peasant, so I don't understand which one would you be willing to admit to, because she didn't do any of that. She did not want more out of it. She did not go to Melody by saying, Barbara, this is surely a man you thought I got him. She didn't do none of that. She just accepted her position and never questioned it. Never questioned, never wanted more, just received the money and stayed quiet. If that's the case, then you should have stayed quiet this entire time. Why you now want to speak up because your name's being dragged for the position you pretty much put yourself in? Okay, great. Got it. Okay, so basically, she was in nursing school. She was just so busy, and the fact that she was doing something else, it made a convenience for her, and he was busy, it made a convenience for him. So they never spent that much time with one another. The longest they've been together was 4 days. And she was living in Ohio before she officially moved to Alabama, and he would take trips to see her in Ohio. And did he ever spoken to anybody around her. Never. He had a private conversation in the bathroom. He was probably still checking in on mail. Girl, he had no respect for you whatsoever to even be in your own apartment where he wanted some time with you. He was still going to a private corner where she couldn't hear you in the background to say, "What's up? I'm here, just checking in." Oh, girl, he didn't even care to kind of like, let you feel any type of special when he wanted to still promote mail in front of you. All right. Um, did you ever wonder people were going to see you out in public and have something to say about it? Knowing that this man was also married, he was on a televised show. Come on, you didn't think nobody was going to wonder about this? She said nope. And also, we're talking about the picture that Marcel posted about the Atlanta trip in 2015, which was the start of their affair, and how she was flued in for the Atlanta trip. The men knew, never said nothing. And of course, she's still with the same claims that the men had linebacker bitches around them. So while she keeps on saying that, she never knew their names. She never knew who their wives were. So you were confirming that the married men on the picture at the group, they were seeing other women and the other men knew. She said yes. And they knew they were on a televised show. Yes. So basically everybody had their own personal issues. She said, I'm not going to talk about them, but yet once they talk about me, what am I going to do? You spend the entire time talking about me on the TV screen. And Maurice and Marceau, they had linebacker females. This is a term that she keeps on saying this entire time. Linebacker is a term that she says in the South, meaning a big, sturdy woman. A big, sturdy, unattractive, I guess, woman. And you guys went out to dinner. She said, no, there was an Airbnb that they rented out. And she, remember, told Martell, who are these girls? I don't know who their wives are. I don't know their names. Are these them? So she wants to know specifically. So after that, the whole time she keeps on talking about they discredit her, they keep putting her name out there, the wrong narrative. And before you get a chance to discredit them, they discredit you first. And she said, I was never in the midst of putting anybody else's business out there, but since mine was out there for the past 3 years, I don't care if putting anybody else's business out there since you do mine. I don't know why Tasha called her innocent casualty. She's not an innocent casualty. She is a not casualty. She is one of the people who's drawing up the plans. She's starting the war. She's starting it and she's entering in the war. That's what she is. She's a sergeant. That's what she is. Apparently, there's been conversations with the men who feels like they need to stop talking about her or bring her onto the show, and they wanted Martell to bring her up and the baby, but she liked to get her to understand the way you came off, how you destroyed a marriage. You know what I'm saying? And she does not want to admit that she destroyed a marriage. She don't want to admit that. And how she kept on saying this from their perspective. They see another woman that a man was purposely parading around over 5 years. You've been pregnant with him over 3 times. The third time you kept the baby. And she keeps on saying the same exact shit. I didn't destroy a family. That means the family was already in midst of danger before I got in the picture, because this man was actively pursuing me. So she doesn't want to take accountability of how the marriage is falling apart. Whether or not Martell took the initiative to leave the marriage, you still co-signed and engaged in it. Whether or not you want to put yourself 50%, 45%, 10%, bitch, you still stayed in a relationship with a married man that was not going to leave his wife nor leave you alone. So you knew your position and you played your part. So why? So she felt like, everything is not going to be completely broken unless they're divorced. But of course, sometimes people seek out other people to find solace, find resolve, and then they come back and work things out. She said she was Martell's safe place. She was. She pacified him. And when asked that question, believe that you got the real Martell. Did you get the real Martell, or did you still get half of Martell? So no, she said, because you did what you did, you got out of it. Just admit it. Just admit it. You got what you want out of it, and you did not question more than what you wanted to question. You got the cars, you got the house, you got your bills paid. You were comfortable. He made it easy for you to not struggle. Now, she says she's always worked, right? But come on. While working, I think you kind of not worked as much as you say you did right after what was going on between you and Martell. I don't believe you did, because you were a single mother in nursing school. With her not trying to understand her part and her wants of accepting her role with getting her bills paid, living a comfortable life, she still felt like it did not warrant the public the public humiliation that was on a televised show. I don't know what's going on with that girl. At some point in time, you did not send out a cease and desist and I use my name. You did not send out a letter to don't talk about me, because at the end of the day, Martell was the one that did not want it to be covered up, but Mel said, fuck it, this is my real life. And I don't want nobody else telling my story more than I can tell mine. And that's what she did. Martell is kicking himself for not covering this up and not getting his family back at the same point in time as being honest. No. So you knew the position and you knew how it looked. Don't act like you didn't get more out of the deal, because you did. While you don't want to admit what parts you played in, you got your you got your car, you got your apartment, you got your bills paid, you lived a lavish life. Hell, I'm gonna get to it. Sorry, I'm gonna get to it. So, talking about her son, she loves her son. Now, in this interview, she did not mention her other child, not once, because she kept talking about what was on her mind when she was going to nursing school. Classes, clinical labs. I'm saying, what about your baby? What about your daughter? What about your daughter? I didn't hear her say nothing about her daughter. With her son that she got from Martell, she loves him. She is so happy he's here because she did go through a recent abortion. And she was certain that she was going to have another one. And with her having this one, it was at the same point in time that Mel was pregnant at the same time. Mel and Ariana was pregnant around the same time, and that's when I think Mel got her abortion first, and that's when Martell got hers. And of course, she said that he did not. Where does it say what I wrote? Right, have another abortion. She said he did, and she wasn't going to. He wanted her to have an abortion with his third baby, but she wasn't going to. And he did tell that Mel was pregnant at the same time, and he kind of insinuated she had abortion as well, because at that time they were just resolving the affair. And he told her he was going to stop. She was going to believe him. They're going to move forward. And she got pregnant, but she did not want to bring a baby while there was not enough resolvement. It still cracks. So she did not have it. And regardless of the information she received about Mel having an abortion, it didn't matter because she just had an abortion. Fine, Ariane. Fine. Everything's all about you. The victim of it all. Girl, you are not a victim in no way, shape, or form. You're not. Back to the Atlanta trip. So, she was flown in from Ohio about the Atlanta trip. She knew. The women were all there. And she doesn't know what the wives look like. She never met them, never knew their names. And do you have any confirmation these women slept in the same beds with them? She said, I don't. But read between the lines, she knew what the situation was. So, what is in prostitutes? She said, keep saying linebacker. Linebacker. That's all she keeps saying. So when they saw their wives, did you put two together that it was much later and that it was on TV? She said, yeah. But at the same point in time, that's what they did. And they can't keep them. But before they can talk about themselves, they talk about her. So they wrap up the interview. She wants to know, is there anything else you want to say before we leave? Do you want to air out anything? She wants the producers to stop telling her. She wants the producers to stop spinning the story elsewhere. Stop betraying my likeness. That's not valid. I'm not here to speak for myself. Blah, blah, blah. My life has changed for the bad, not for the good. I'm going through things between myself and Oprah, even though Oprah doesn't know who I am. Girl, goodbye and good night. I am like all the other girls who viewed Oprah as the most influential black woman in the world. And now I've been used against that. Stop using me. I'm tired of it. I did not ruin a family. Using my likeness, basically carrying the weight of 6 individuals as a storyline, I'm done. Bitch, nobody was using you as a storyline. Nobody was using you. There have been multiple issues on this show that had nothing to do with you. Granted, the infidelity that Martell was the biggest story. Granted, that is correct. But at the same point in time, don't try to act like that wasn't going to come out. Don't do it. Do not act like you were completely blindsided with everything that happened. This man was married and on a televised show. We know what Martell Holt looks like. This shit was going to come out either way. There have been blogs, there have been interviews. This is going to come out. So I don't know why you think that it is their fault that you were used like this. Girl, bye. You opened yourself to be used. Staying loyal to a man who called you a peasant, don't want to admit the name of your baby, don't want to acknowledge you at any given time. Girl, goodbye. Earlier in the interview, you said that no woman should go through what Mel went through, right? Is that an apology? She said, speaking woman to woman, mother to mother, black woman to black woman. Because you're not married yet, but someday you'll understand what it feels like. She says she won't apologize, and she won't take that as an apology. Not for Martell, for your part. For what you played a part in. Because same point in time, no matter what you say about Martell pursuing you, bitch, you still was open an invitation. You invited him to your home. You invited him into your bed. You invited him to shoot your club up more than once. You accepted the gifts. You accepted the payment of your bills. You accepted the apartment. You played your part by being in this relationship with him. You did. You was not a woe is me, wounded baby bird who was so exhausted from not trying to leave, from leaving this man alone. He keeps on following me. He keeps on following me. Girl, have some self-pride, self-respect for yourself. Ariana, you are a gorgeous woman, but at the same point in time, you are so dumb and desperate. You mean tell Martell was the best that you can find? Please? Really? Okay. So, Tasha believes it would be a step in the right direction if she was to apologize to Melody. At the same point in time, she deserves an apology. You don't, but Melody does. Because with you sitting here and we're talking about it, it's overkill. We should be done. But she says an apology isn't going to solve anything because there been a lot of behind the scenes interactions with Melody. She said one time Melody pulled up between her and a hairstylist and some friends at her home. So on some pretty much jump you shit. And she was like, I don't know why she would try to fight me, but she said she wasn't trying to fight me. But Mel was always calling, but at the same point in time, bitch, she was fucking her husband. And her husband lied to her and said he wasn't talking to you and fuck you, but he still was. So she has anger into the right places. With anger to you and anger to him. She said, it would be different if you were in her shoes and you were married to this man since college. It would be a whole different ballpark if you were in her shoes. And Erin does not want to put herself in her shoes because she feels like this would never happen to her. But yet you were willing to break a woman down with a man she's been with since college, had 4 children with, create a business. You wouldn't take a part of that, but yeah, you don't think that what you did was hurtful too? Just Martell, not you? Because of course you owe no vows to her, but come on, moral, self-pride. Women, for real? All right. Because how would be different? Yeah, I said that. So she says, wives, she said, first of all, if you know your husband, check your husband. Don't check me. Wives need to, I wrote this down completely clear. She says, wives need to understand you don't go after the woman that your husband's continuing to pursue. You check him. Bitch. I wanted to jump across my couch and punch her in the face. While Mel did go after Martell, you, my dear, are not innocent because you actively had an affair with a married man, got pregnant with him, spent time with him, got gifts from him. Girl, as much as we can blame Martell and his bullshit ass ways, he definitely made you think what you did wasn't wrong. He definitely blew your dumb bubble-headed brain to thinking that you are just an innocent bystander in all of this, and you are not. Now, granted, sometimes when it comes to a man cheating, you check your husband, check your wife, but at the same point in time, if this is the same bitch that's keep popping up in my fucking life, then she needs to be fucking checked, because at the end of the day, you knew who she was, Ariane. You keep saying you don't know, you don't watch the TV, bullshit, because you know who she is, you know what she do, you know who he married. At the end of the day, this man is still fucking around on you and still going home to her. At the end of the day, that's who he's going home to. He still does not claim you to this day. Does not want to be seen in public with you because the thrill is over. It's done. And then says, nobody chases a married man. You beg to differ. Now, whether or not you want to admit you chased a married man, you still stayed available for him. You didn't think to pursue anything else for yourself, any other man. You stayed ready for him. It's just like on the movie Family That Prays. You are so indebted into your routine for him, you don't see nothing else wrong. Like how the character that Sanaa Lathan played, they had a meeting every Wednesday at a special hotel. You're confined to this little room. You're confined to this role that you're playing that you don't feel like you are worth more than what Martell tells you to be. What Martell expects you to be. You are confined with just receiving 4 days, conversations, not conversations, meetups, no meetups, gifts, stay. You are confined to be a dirty little secret. Even though you're not much of a secret, but yet he still portrays that dirty little secret because he doesn't want to mention you at all. Don't want to mention the son, don't want to mention the age. He pretty much acts like it is a complete bother. It's a pain for him to admit that he had an outside child. It's a pain to admit the name of the woman he had an outside child with. To say the name of the baby, even though he just showed a picture with the baby, I think he is still ashamed of what led to that point. And that's you. So it was a convenience on both your parts. It was convenience for both of y'all. You're a woman that didn't come with problems. You didn't come with complaining about the bills, complaining about the house not being clean, complaining about the kids. You was just a simple girl, simple dumb girl who did not have nothing else to come to the table with. So you didn't ask for much. It was a profitable convenience. You did not take a role as a wife. You was a young, impressionable woman that didn't come and wanted to know what was going on. Did not want to come with questions. Did not want to come with concerns. Common fucking sense. You just stayed your place. Stayed your place. Stayed your position. Obviously, while hearing that Melly was a victim, because she was a victim, this woman thought she had the fairy tale, knowing that her fairy tale became a nightmare. She didn't want to be the only one to hear that she was a victim. So Ariana said, I wasn't a victim. No, you weren't. You was a volunteer for this. That's what you were. Because apparently, what's the difference? This woman had 3 kids with him. 3 kids. Went to college. Married him. Went through all of his bullshit. You got a snippet of what Martell can be. A snippet. You got pretty much a percentage of a man. Probably like out of the 80-20, you got 20%. As much as he got 20% from you. Or the whole, I don't know what in your 80%. I don't know. So we're talking to a woman who was head over heels with a man, a piece of shit man, and a storyline of how you came into the picture. Yeah, it'll fade, it'll go away, but it needs to be some acknowledgement on your part for whatever I did. I apologize. You know what I'm saying? She said, if they're not going to put me on the platform to speak my truths and not tear me down to build another woman up and not put me in a negative light, or I will not be discussed in every single episode, then no. Do you think that this was carried? Do you feel like maybe this was carried because she didn't have closure? She said, I don't think that she has enough. Also, she feels like, don't y'all think she has enough likeness for her to carry to the show? Why does it have to keep being me to bring it up? Why is it okay for them? Discuss me why it's okay for you to understand why your name is being mentioned as the main person. At the same point in time, Ariane, you are not that interesting. You're not. Because if you feel like you have so much more to say, you would have said it a long time ago. A long time ago, you would have said something. Girl, no. You wait until the show gets the biggest hype that it was. Everybody is tuned in for Love and Marriage Huntsville. You're coming to your lives, not saying much, going around and around in circles, not spilling tea, only to boost your platform, boost up your YouTube, boost up your boutique, all within not saying not a damn thing. Nothing. So Tasha decides, okay, well, since you feel like she has more enough to carry to the show, she doesn't need to talk about you. Let's call her up. Now, while Tasha is preparing to call Melody Hope, Ariana is quickly on her phone texting like crazy, just scrolling. And then she said, we don't need to call her because you don't think I'm calling her. I'm not going to call her. We don't need to. But she's not going to know that you're here. I'm going to be the one to call her. I know, but then I don't want to do it. I don't want to call her. I don't want to. I don't want to call her. Because she feels like there needs to be a conversation. Y'all kids are going to be playing together. There needs to be a conversation. Well, that's up to Martell. Well, Martell don't have much of a say-so because while Martell has joint custody of his kids with Mel, Mel also has a viable point to say. Now, granted, she did place the job of Martell telling the kids about the baby. He is responsible for that. But at the same point in time, Mel is definitely needs to be part of this conversation. Whether or not you want to be admitted to what you did, you need to realize that this is not Martell that's dealing with this. Mel's going to deal with this too. Even though this is his situation, those are my kids. Those are Mel's kids. She wants to make sure those kids are right, they're okay, and then nothing's going to be changed about what's happened with their family. Whether or not, you know what I'm saying? So, Tasha don't have her number, so she doesn't call her. Ariana was shaking in her boots. She was shaking. So maybe this can work out with next season. You guys can have more of a common ground. But she said Martell made the first move. Girl, Martell's not going to do another damn thing. You probably are the only one who is who is moving forward with your child's lives. And Martell is there for the child support check and the pee and the pussy. That's it. That's all he's doing. But if there was an apology offered on Mel's side, would you offer her one too? She said maybe not, because she'll probably put a whole song about her. And oh wait. Oh yeah, she said you think she'll offer you one because she made a whole song about you. And she said I think she's capitalizing off it. Why wouldn't she? She turned her profit into her pain. Okay, fine. I don't know what to say about that. So, working her way out, she wanted to. Yeah. Okay, basically, you know what I'm saying? Now that Mel and Martell not together, the power is pretty much lies to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Mel can go back to him anytime she wants to, and so can you. The power lies with you guys. Unless you guys both come in and say, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm stopping. Do you believe you guys will form a form of peace now that Martell's out the picture? She said no because there's been too much done to her, but she still hasn't put herself in Mel's shoes. She said, you think you understand how it feels like to be embarrassed? She said that was her decision, and Martell didn't want to talk about the infidelity. He didn't want to talk about it. He told the producers, don't bring this up. So she obviously had conversations with Martell about what was happening. But at the same point in time, Mel did what anybody would do. This is my life. This was happening while I was filming. Why would I want to hide this? This is real. This is reality, my reality. So she bit the bullet, talked about it, and everybody was on Mel's side. Granted, somebody might feel like Mel was definitely putting too much, but at the same point in time, this woman was married to a man for over 15 years, had 4 children, a business, and this was ripped right under her. Over a man who did not who wanted a certain type of sex, and she didn't want to give it to him, and he was complaining. So she think that she capitalizes on purpose. So just like how much you capitalize and how you are such much of a victim, you're capitalizing on how your name's being dragged out of here. You're doing this on purpose too. You're doing this for attention as well. So miss me. So you're going to be married one day. You're going to grow old. You're going to be married one day. I hope you are. You will know what it feels like as a wife to feel like your husband is with another woman, giving him all the attention, all the sex, and just ripping out all of the promises that he made to his wife. She said she doesn't want to get married because of the statistics of black men cheating, but black women cheat too. And she wants to grow old with someone but not being married. So Tasha K talks about the story of Mel stepping out and receiving cunnilingus from another man or having sex. Either way, Ariana automatically knew what she was talking about because she said it was from their attorney. Her attorney is the man that Mel slept with, right? And how did you know? Martell must have picked up the phone, put the number in his phone, and that's where it left off at. Apparently, the attorney had a fiance. The fiance follows Ariana, and I don't know about the fiance. I don't know about the attorney because Martell said the same thing. I don't believe this is the attorney. If this was an attorney, this was someone that you guys see quite a few times. No, I don't think it's the attorney. I honestly think it was a regular man that probably Mel knew, but not knew. And I don't think a man she'll ever see again. At the end of the day, Tasha said she did not fault Mel for doing what she did because at the same point in time, Martell made the first move. He made the first mistake by having a full-on 5-year affair versus her one. And she stepped out. You know what I'm saying? She was already separated from that. So she had a romp or a situation that pretty much did not do anything to Martell. She did not do it under his nose, did not do it secretly. She literally moved out and did what she wanted to do. Not what he did. Had a double life and then complained how he got caught having a double life. So she said and obviously Ariana knew that because she said he came back to her. Ty said he came crying. He didn't come crying. I mean, he came back. Either way, bitch, he came fucking crying. And you were the available shoulder and available pussy for him to get his frustrations out. Because obviously he definitely felt some type of way because a man could do a whole lot of things to a woman. He could cheat on her, make her feel crazy, do all types of stuff. But yet when another man comes in and takes what he wants, or comes in, or when another woman does what he does and he can't take it, then he feels type of way. So Mel did it him, and he didn't like it, and he went to you, and without you feeling like all I'm here for is comfort, I'm here for is a warm bed. Yes, that's all you are. Is a in between, a past time. That's all you are. You're nothing more than this. You're nothing more than that, and you are accepting in that role. I don't know why you want to admit it. A woman who's going to be second best, second fiddle. That's all you're going to be. You're never going to be number one. Because then they talking about the pandemic. Because basically, she said he wasn't coming over to see her in the pandemic. How they spun the whole thing was false. He was going to the gym. He wasn't coming over to me. Girl, bye, I guess. And no apology, no apology for your part, but I take full responsibility and accountability for my part in this triangle. Yes, but still no apology. And I feel like you pretty much not really taking accountability in my part, in my opinion. You're not. Do you believe you're receiving karma? Do you believe karma is coming around? She says karma is happening to her right now. With how she's received online, the dragging, girl, bye, this is the tip of the iceberg. Girl, you've been inviting this intention this entire time. You haven't been really getting dragged. Not really. Your karma is really about to come. Trust. Because apparently, the storylines, she feel like they've been used on her since the last season. And she said the producer tried to get in touch with her. That was a lie. The only reason they're coming to her on live, because the live that she posted about the linebacker, she said she received a call from the producer to tell her to shut up. But then when she said they told her to shut up, they said, let's film. That doesn't sound like they told you to shut up. That sounds like they gave you an invitation to tell your story. You know what the difference between being told to shut up and film? I think that you got that message from Marceau's people, because you would keep talking about the linebacker and the Maurice comment and stuff like that. I think you got that from Marceau and Maurice's people. To be honest, I think you got that from. So even though she would love to tell her side and be a part of it, because she feels they've been playing her for 3 years. So what's going to happen when y'all have me? Again, I think that as much as you think they're running out of ways of using you, you're going to run out of ways of finding yourself relevant in this, because we're going to get over this. We're not going to care anymore. And at the same point in time, nobody was bringing you up all through the season. Not the first, not the second, not the last. You were mentioned based off of Martell's infidelity. That's correct. But at the same point in time, you're inviting for us to know more about you. You're inviting the information of us to find other ways to still call you a no heartless bitch. That's what we're doing. So we're talking about the snippet that she was kind of filmed when they had that conversation in the car. Martell and Ariana came up with the conversation to bring up the DNA test, right? Martell wanted to bring it up. She was against it, but yet she still went along with it. So she's upset how they chopped and screwed with the probability of, I want a DNA test. Is that my baby? You know that's his baby. So again, she's mad how they portrayed her with the story, how the edit chopped and screwed. Girl, good night and goodbye. For someone who doesn't watch the show, you damn near know what's going on in the scenes, And she said this was the most watched episode. That's what she said. This was the most watched episode ever in that season. Bitch, you watched the show. I don't give a damn what you say. You watched this show. You are definitely in tune as much as everybody else is on this show. Girl, goodbye. So, of course, she didn't like it. And her face, it was like a slap in the face that the Martell did not promise to protect her in this moment, I guess. And how she felt discredited. And she said the lady, she's telling the lady, this is what you get for dealing with a married man who was still actively sleeping with his wife and dealing with you at the same time. And how everything and decided to make sure you was ready for him. You was open, available, ready for him, without thinking you're trying to be more than what you are, because you wasn't. So she's feeling like, I'm stupid for believing this man was going to protect me, going to defend me. He called you a peasant. He called you a peasant. He was not going to defend you. He was not going to take care of you. He was not going to protect you. No. Oh, God, waiting around this man. You've been this man for 6 years. Girl, goodbye. So with what happened with that conversation was they decided to film, but it was a whole deeper conversation that they had about that. They had more conversation, then more talks, but then they chopped it and made her sound like a hoe. Well, girl, are you? You're a mistress. Ain't that a step away from being a hoe? I don't know. You're a mistress. You kept yourself available for a married man that was never going to leave his wife and marry you. So you're a hoe. Moving on. Okay, so what happened? She thought she was going to be able to. She thought she was going to talk to tell her story about how they recruited her. Again, this is the most watched episode, and it was asked why she hasn't been filmed to tell her side. Mel says she don't want to film with her, and of course, as Carlo King said on the Jasmine brand, I am not going to go behind one of my castmates back and bring up a woman or bring up a person that they were not privy to having a conversation with, like what he did with Kyle, with Kimmy, and Maurice. Maurice wanted the conversation with Kyle to be on camera, so everybody got consent to come on. He's not gonna go behind nobody's back to make a show more bigger than what it is or give ratings. No, he thinks very carefully and he thinks about his cast members' feelings and how they're gonna go about it. So at the end of the day, and what is she going to offer on here? Nothing. I think she has run her course, run whatever it is she wants to say. We're going to be bored talking about her. So, not going to do that. So, and then she says the audience doesn't know her face. They know Mel's face. And she said that they asked to do that conversation with Martell in the car, FaceTime, but she said no. My thing is, you're so upset about your likeness being portrayed on the show. You did not get a chance to tell your story, but yet you're telling me how you've had opportunity to show your face, show your story, but yet you said no. So what are we talking about? Why are you complaining about not being given the opportunity to show your face or tell your story, but yet you've been showing your face and telling your story? You've been given an opportunity. Why are you waiting for them to give you one when you could do it on your own? Why are you waiting for an Andy Natasha K to give your own story? You could have been did it. Because why? You want this to still go. You want more of a reality public figure added to your bio. Whether you be in an online boutique, a YouTuber, you want reality star too. That's what you want. Okay. Because there was a conversation that was going to lead her to do it person to person, but she didn't. Martell wanted to film going on a date. He wanted with Ariane. They said no. Then the whole 3-part reunion, he was texting her throughout that entire reunion to film another conversation. She said no. So Tasha makes a joke about wanting to find the attorney that Mel was fucking because they're using your likeness, girl. You need to sue them. So she didn't finish nursing school. She did not finish nursing school because it was so hard to be public embarrassed and humiliated, and that going to class was going to be so much trauma. She can never go back. But she owns an online boutique. And she worked really hard to become a nurse, but at the same time, it was her dream to own a boutique. And she cannot go back. There's too much trauma. Okay. It's the end of the interview. She has a book dropping this spring. What's it called? The Tales of a Peasant? Was that what it called? With hearing that Melly might be still mad, she said, how could you not be what you've been through? If you know how mad she's been, why can't you apologize? If you know. I'm sorry, I'm getting upset. Because if you know, why aren't she still, okay. She said it will be a private conversation because apparently they've had multiple conversations behind the scenes. She said it was a time where Melly arrived at her best friend's mother's house and they had a deep conversation for over 2 hours. They talked about a lot of things, mostly Martell. And she didn't leave mad. She didn't leave angry. She even said, if you need me, call my number. But she felt like, why would I call her when I would call Martell? Martell would be the one calling me. And do you think she did it to say leave her husband alone? She said, maybe. I don't know. But at the same point in time, Martell was the one still pursuing me. So apparently Martell told her, if I don't call you, we won't talk all the time. Martell told her, if I don't call you, we don't talk. Oh, girl, you was a beck and call. You was waiting by the phone. Ooh, waiting by the phone. So she talks to the camera about how the wife needs to stop talking about her. Come up with your own story. We know we have a nurse on hand, Kim. We have a star. We have a singer. We have a woman who has a podcast. I'm sure she has more things to talk about than me. Girl, you're not that fucking interesting. Moving on. Answer. Otherwise, if your husband do not find it disrespectful. Oh, yeah, because we're talking about the Atlanta trip again, right? How the men, Maurice and Marceau, did not find it weird, did not find it concerning that Martell flew a sneaky link, flew his mistress out here, and you guys did not find it weird. Y'all did not find it concerning. Y'all did not find it wrong. Y'all didn't tell him he was wrong. Whether or not you did or did not, y'all still did not act like he was wrong. Y'all co-signed it because this is what you guys do anyway. This is allowed. And pretty much what Mel said. So this is what happens when Martell and Marceau get together. Birds of a flock together. Y'all both run around in the same circles. Y'all both do the same things. And Ariane can attest to that, because how is that you guys did not find it weird or find it concerning that a married man who you guys know flew his mistress out here, and y'all don't say nothing? Then of course y'all do flock around and y'all do sneak around and have other women and all this stuff. It's true. So Tasha said, you're going to be a married woman one day. And what did I write? Oh, right. Basically, you know what I'm saying? You're not the first woman. You're not going to be the last. There have been more women. And Martoni no more fucking kids. I'm sorry. Because he'll find another impressionable woman who won't have a lot to give, have a lot to offer. She'll just shut the fuck up and take all the purses, all the jewelry, all the cars, and play her position. Ariane did not like how Tasha K was pretty much reading the fuck out of Martell, because she was, and he deserves it. She said, he's a good man. He's a good man. I understand he's a good man, but at the same point in time, girl, this is the part where I feel like you didn't get the full Martell. You didn't get the full one. Do you believe that push came to shove, he would come back? Will you give him another chance? She didn't say no, but she did say yes, because he said he needs counseling. But we're going to work on co-parenting. Co-parenting with benefits. She's talking about being with a one man and a one woman type of situation. But yet, did you not realize how this wasn't a one man, one woman type of situation? You were sharing. You was sharing her husband without Melly knowing that she was sharing her husband. You willingly volunteered to be a mistress to a man who wasn't going to leave his wife and let you in the dust to be where you at. Not going to move from this position whatsoever. One man, one woman. Girl, bye. So she thanks her for her time. She gives her kudos for her being transparent, her moving forward with her book. We hope your life goes on. And let's see if you're more than just a mistress. But on the end, that's it. That's it. Goodbye. And that's all we have. Y'all, I was irritated as hell throughout the entire interview, because I just feel like she doesn't see herself as what she did was wrong at any given time in this. Like, she doesn't find what she did wrong. And it's annoying as hell. And first of all, how are you going to talk about morals and integrity as black women need to do better to lift one another up and not tear each other down, but yet you did this to another black woman? You did not think of your moral compass. You did not think of what would happen if this was to have been her. You never even think of putting yourself in your shoes or her shoes. And you have a daughter. How are you going to let her know when she gets older and she wants to learn about what does it mean to be with a good man? Or how do I know if a man loves me, want to be with me? Look at his actions. First, no. You looked at the paycheck, you looked at the jewelry, looked at the glitz and the glamour, and whether or not you were going to be seen in public, at least you was able to get your bills paid out of it, right? Because I find it bullshit how she did not want to complete nursing school, but yet she has all the freedom in the world to come on live, talk about nothing, open up a boutique, and be willing to do any type of interviews that will give her time of day. You wanted what you want out of here. You wanted to be a reality star without being a reality star. You want all the perks and the benefits of telling your story that's going to get old and faded. Because I just don't understand how she does not think she can go back to nursing school. Granted, if you would think that you were so embarrassed at the time it happened, maybe you got kikis and sneers by the water fountain, I don't know, but nursing school is not something that you still can achieve. You can still achieve it, but you don't want to. Because I think it's going to take her away from the freedom for her not having to work as much as she wants to. Just like Tasha K said, he gave you the ability to be comfortable where you did not have to struggle as much. She said she always had a job, but yet when you got with Martell, he paid for your lifestyle. He gave it to you. The clothes, the cars, the jewelry, all that and then some. The apartment. You was living good. And you landed it all the way down to you got a baby out the deal. So you're really set for life to not want to work as much as you want to work right now. And you're 31 years old. Oh, you said baby, right? Cool. That's what you wanted to happen anyway. You did not want to leave what could have been a gold mine for you. Whether or not you want to admit that you pursued him, he pursued you, or you volunteered. Either way, you're now in a position that landed you into where you wanted to be. But that's it, y'all. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next video, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.